Hello and welcome here on the simrace.tv channel 1 to the 6th annual Kyoto 500 here from Kyoto, Japan, round 5 of the LFS Card Series 2013 here. Here, Dominik Engel together with Stephen Martin and from the looks of it also Chris Ford for, a slightly windy 270 laps of turning left a lot while going flat out and hopefully not crashing. Last of which is probably not going to be the case. So, Steve, I think you've been involved in this race in the last few years, as have I been, but I don't think my opinion is probably as nice as yours. So, what can we expect from today's race?
Well, we're going to see a lot of working between various drivers, working together to try to get to the front of the field. But the important thing for this race, which a lot of drivers forget, is it's a long race and you've got to get to the end. You've got to keep yourself in contention to be able to fight for it at the end rather than crashing in the opening period of the race, pretending that that's when victory comes, because it's just not.
Yes, very much. It's a very long race. Sometimes the drivers try and make it somewhat longer, just like last year when we had the record race length of just over 4 hours, which, to my disliking, led to the fact that, well, I almost pissed myself, but let's not talk about that too much. It's 270 laps. Drafting will be a key. Of course, only R2 tires allowed here on the oval. And that could lead to some nice barbecue action on the tires, couldn't it?
It could indeed. In theory, tires shouldn't be too much of a problem, but if there's long green flag runs, the tires can get very warm, and especially if you're not looking after them, when you're drafting, tires will be even worse. If you're not looking after them right, then yeah, it could be barbecue time, as you say. In theory, they could go quite a while, especially if there's cautions, but who knows? It depends on how you treat them.
Very much so. And this year, as is tradition, we have 10 rows of free, just like in the real life Indianapolis 500. But obviously, due to LFS limitations, we don't have 33, we only have 30. And Kyoto 500, not really an event that always struggles to get a full grid. Unlike some of the LFS card rounds we've seen previously. We've got 30 drivers here, all more or less motivated to compete today. And it's, well, from experience, I think we can say that it's impossible to actually say who's going to win it.
Indeed, it's very, very difficult to predict. Indeed, there's a number of drivers in this field that could win it, and it all depends on who feels like working well with each other today. And obviously, it'll depend a lot on what happens during the race, who can get that bit of luck and avoid getting involved in massive wrecks, which do tend to happen here.
Yes, indeed. For it also has to be mentioned, the pole sitter has never won the race. I think last year was actually the first time the pole sitter took the start. So it's going to be very interesting for Patrick Hall on the inside of that first row. We have, I think, 18 kilometers of wind, if I just saw it right, which is a fair amount. In these cars going roughly at 180 plus miles an hour. But as I said, the grid for this season's Kyoto, this season's Kyoto 500, if you look from an LFS card point of view, is Patrick Hall on the inside of row 1, followed by Dan Sanger in the middle, and then Martin Kapal on the outside, Lauberg in a 20 car on the inside of row 2, followed by Huovinen and in the 65, and Major in the 14 on the outside of row 2. Krampush, Matt Kingsbury, and Artur Lestallo then on row 3, followed by Anton Moroz. If I've not completely gotten that wrong already, I think I'm right. Followed by... Yes, Anton Moroz is actually on the outside of row 3, it seems. Then we have Artur Lestallo on row 4 inside, followed by Kampas and Garbaleski on the middle and the outside. Raymond Blauhoff in the number 46, followed by Jesse Telkele in the middle, and Nathan Lamoff on the outside on row 5. Row 6, Jaroslav Donolik, followed by Jarek Mead and Joniver Aguopos. Row 6. Then row 7, Chvicki, followed by Matt Tilainen and Jack Sedgwick, the guy who's probably going to end up upside down before anyone else. Then we have last year's winner, Nika Pantola in the number 0 car in row 8, followed by Peterle and Dennis Lind on the outside of row 8. Then we have Tyker on row 9, followed by Borislav Botev and Ray Kingsbury on the outside. And the last row, Dustin Dawes in his UKCT Martini liveried car with the pink helmet on row 10, followed by Torsten Ulrich in the number 55. And the final runner will be Thomas Karenni, starting 30th on the outside of row 10. Steve, we're now on... Well, just about starting the second of the warm-up laps. It's going to be green, unless there's a major drama right before the start. And it's going to be a very, 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 very crowded turn 1, isn't it?
It is indeed, as you mentioned before. It's 10 rows of 3. Usually, in most races, it's double file at the start. Here, it's triple file. It adds that extra element. Everyone's more crowded together. There's less room for error, and we've seen in the past big incidents happen. Getting through turn 1 and the first lap or 2 safely is pretty important if you want to get a good run in the early stages of this race.
Just going to say there, Dom, if they couldn't get through the pace laps without causing a yellow flag, what hope would we have for the bloody race?
That is the voice of Chris Ford. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dom. Vice champion of 2012 for 4 more hours. I am here. Yeah, American reference.
What, vice champion?
Vice champion.
Go America!
That's the voice of Phil Diaz, a person who's also known for turning left a lot in LFS. Oh, Phil.
Hey, Dom.
Now, Stuart Baker pulling in the face about the safety car. And now we have the 3 white formation awaiting the green flag for the 2013 running of the Kyoto 500, and we go!
It's a great start from Dan Sanger. He's pulled well ahead of Hall and Kapow. He's well clear into turn 1. Those two side by side. And then it's all going on behind them.
Doesn't appear there's been any collisions, major collisions so far, as we go 4-5 wide down the back stretch into 2. Weaving about a little bit on the cold tyres in turn number 2 in the middle of the pack. Cold tyres plus draft. Of course, somebody trying to sneak through the inside. Are we going to have a crash in the infamous turn number 3? Oh, thing. Okay, so far Blauhoff turns down. There is a collision, but somehow they managed to save it. Everybody's saving it. Though a few cars squeezed against the wall, but they all survive, and we're still...
Oh, there we go. Caution number 1. After only 1 green flag lap.
I'm entirely sure where there's caution.
It seems... it seems like they've gotten themselves together quicker than expected.
That should have been way bigger than that. The actual car that spun the number 55 just did a 360 in the middle of everybody, never got touched, and just straightened up and kept going.
It reminds
Lag
me
made it look like it
of
was a
my
lot bigger.
adventures with Mr. Ford, doesn't it, Chris? I was looking for all the right-handers on this track. Yeah, caution number 1. Maybe someone's going to pit. 55, as you said, there's some damage to his car. A little bit on his right front suspension, if that's alright.
It's interesting to note we've got Hull, our pole sitter, who's dropped all the way down to 10th place now.
Yeah, just been swallowed up by the pack there, Steve, I guess.
Just got completely monster at the start and then just passed in the rest of the lap. It seems like Stuart Baker needs some, well, more fuel today, because while it's not unusual to have earlier a safety car, I wouldn't go light if I was in a safety car. If all you gotta do is just turn left and do 80 miles an hour all day. So our pole sitter in the pits, Ray King's in the pits, number 25, Blauhoff in the pits as well. Torsten Ulrich also in the pits, fixing that damage of his. As we, well, hopefully temporarily lose Steve Martin to internet woes. Chris, as you can probably see again this year, a lot of, well, rookies compared to last year.
Yes, quite a few names I don't really recognise from the previous years that I've competed in this 500. We've lost quite a few experienced drivers for this year. Let's talk about the experienced Dan Sanger there, of course. He's never won the Kyoto 500 somehow. Or so he says anyway, somehow.
Obviously, he had the chance to win the Speed Weeks 400, the race on the same track, but happened to be just a little bit shorter, which I never really got the point of. Restart next lap, says race director Jonathan Palmer, who will probably need some kind of pill to calm himself down at some point in this race. Well, when we're talking about losing experienced driver, I think we've got to put that down to the whole of LFS Kart this year, really. It's been a different kind of series compared to the last 2 years, from the looks of it. Soft race-by-race performances. That shouldn't distract us from the first restart of the day. Dan Sanger, when will he go? I think he's past the safety car line. Safety car is in pit lane.
And he's gone.
Yep, he's gone. We will have the green flag shortly. There we go, first restart of the day. We're back on the green flag conditions. Field spread out very nicely. Except for the, well, back of, or let's say lower midfield around 20th position, there's a huge pack there. 4-way, 5-way, 5 wide even. Drafting away there. Lots of red and green cars, the Iron Club cars of number 10, 37 and 73, and then you've got also Jack Sedgwick, who is probably going to end up upside down in 10 minutes time, and Jarrett Mead for Green, Angry Angus Racing. I apologise.
They're going 4 wide down into turn 2. They got to have their heads screwed on firmly at this point and remember that they've got 262 laps remaining in this race. Keeping it clean right now We'll see how long that lasts. Not long. Not long as contact, which Sedgwick gets squeezed in the middle.
Miracle Jack Sedgwick didn't roll there, to be honest.
I said 10 minutes. He didn't want to wait that long. Tried, but he was too close to the wall to actually lose that much.
If it was driven, he would have been airborne for sure. Sadly, this isn't the movie.
At the front we have a 4-car breakaway, it appears, at the moment. Kapow, Garbalovsky, Majur and Sanger. Contact between Kingsbury and Ulrich at the back there. Oh, sneaking through Ulrich, but a bit of bump drafting there from Kingsbury.
Both of them, of course, already have a history this season.
Why are they bumping? That's what I would like to know.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe they think it's DP3.
Well, thankfully, neither of these two drivers are as talented as Alex Jones Costa.
Antonio, actually.
Antonio! That's one.
Contact there again. A lot of people switching a lot of lines. It's worse than the motorway during rush hour.
Not sure why they're doing that. It's not faster and it's not safer, so.
No, it's faster is one thing, safer. It looks very spectacular, but that's pretty much it. Oh, and the 4-car group at the front has now turned into a 6-car group almost.
Hate to say this, but this is surprisingly greeny.
So far it is, yeah, but then 14
Ulrich and
laps.
Kingsbury. Yeah, they're gonna end up with a warning. I wouldn't be so surprised any second now if we keep bumping.
But they're cooperating really badly, or they're just being really cheeky. Wouldn't be surprised if I was to turn out to be true, actually.
The 6-car breakaway appeared to turn into a 2-car breakaway. Sanger and Kapal up at the front.
Seem to be slowly breaking up into 2-car groups, to be honest. I expect, well, that 2nd to 6th place group to... Oh, there's a lot of smoke there. Where did that come from?
Somebody's tyre overheating, probably, I guess.
Perhaps. Let's see. Doesn't seem that anyone's...
Is that a 3ID skin?
Yes, it is.
Oh. I didn't know they still existed within Live for Speed.
They do. That's probably the phase when the tires are at their worst. They're just, well, raining like nothing else you've ever seen at the moment. Pirelli couldn't make anything like this.
Black round Pirelli. really surprisingly clean. Everybody's giving each other just enough room at the moment just to survive. It's nice to see after last year's Flag Fest. The year before's Flag Fest. And the year before's Flag Fest.
To be honest,
And the year before
usually,
that's Flag Fest.
seeing as it's lap 80, usually that's about the time when it starts going wrong for me if I'm in it.
Normally after lap 20 to 40 it has a pretty long green run anyways. I remember in 2009 it was over 100 laps straight, I believe, that we had. Something like that. Or 80 laps, I don't remember.
Oh, crash and free! It's 10 and 55, Peter and Ulrich.
Ah, and Kingsbury and Ulrich, right, yes, okay. I wonder
Kingsbury,
which
yes.
visionary saw that coming.
I think I jinxed it by saying those two had history. But
I don't know if the 10 car is aware, but his left rear tire is 45 degrees the wrong direction. So
Yeah, he's had a fair whack. Somebody has really forcefully whacked into his backside there, I think is what you can say
I think
there.
it was 55.
And here come
So
the
they
leaders.
both went into the wall.
We'll need an RB4. Oh no!
leaders.
Whoa!
He needs to
Right,
stay up
he's
against
spinning
the
in
right
front of
side
us.
wall if
This is
he's going to
dangerous.
stay up against
He's
the
probably
wall.
thinking about stopping and letting everybody go by, but he's not going to. He's going to go on that wall now for some reason. And now he's going to split into the middle of the track!
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, that thing must be driving like, Oh god! Crompers
RB4
and
is
Lamont.
required.
Crompers and Lamont just about avoiding him there. There's probably a rescue car very much
Oh.
on the way. To that number 10 car, because, the tire's gone now. I think he's probably going to handle better now. Left rear tire's down, suspension is completely ruined. That thing's gotta need a complete rebuild. Good job, that only takes about half a minute in LFS. Yeah, second caution of the day. Pit entry is now officially open for whomever wants to have a nice visit by his pit crew. A lot of green cars. Jack Cedric, me, Dennis Lind all coming into the pits. Also, our pole sitter again, Patrick Hall, and Ray Kingsbury, of course.
The number 55 car of Ulrich came into the pits straight after the incident happened. The pits were closed, but he still came in, obviously feeling he needed to come in swiftly for repairs. He's a lap down from the leaders now. He'll have to start at the back of the line because the pits were closed when he entered.
Yes, and car 10 has now finally made it safely, more or less, to the pits.
You also have to know in this race there is no lucky dog like there is in the Kyoto 250, so if you want to get your lap back you actually have to earn it and pass the leaders under green flag conditions, unless every single leader pits.
Which is very rare.
And then the 10 car speeds in the pits.
It's probably another end of line penalty coming his way. So far, busy day from Stu Baker. For Stu Baker, even.
Not as busy as could be anticipated, though. I mean, it's been relatively okay.
Maybe it's because it's a different pace car this year.
Why are we using a rack? Can somebody sort of clarify that one?
I thought it was
Oh, man.
FCR normally.
So did I. Did Stu just put his foot down and say, I want this, I want my road cars, my pretty
I
road
don't
cars?
know.
Stu Baker, of course, loves his road cars.
It looks better than last year's F5, in my opinion.
Oh, I know what it is. Is this an attempt to recreate the 1970s cars that used to do the pace lap at the Indy 500? Because I've seen a film where they've got the some local celebrity driver who was doing the pace carring on the formation lap, and he was taking the mayor around at the start of the race, and he sort of forgot to brake and slammed into a grandstand.
That's fantastic.
Mayor was waving to the crowd until seconds before the crash, and then he was shot. Which year was that? Answers on the postcard.
Oh dear. Did you see who did the pace lap this year at Le Mans?
I did. It was Mr. Le Mans. One
Yes. So we don't have someone anywhere near as prestigious to drive the safety car around here, so...
Indeed, Chris Ford was unavailable for that job. Oh, sorry, did you say prestigious?
I think we should have got the great Nolan Scott to do it.
Would have been
2009
real
champion.
unique.
Wedge.
Exactly.
Two
Safety
tons
car in the
of
slot.
wedge.
It looks like.
Yeah, looks like safety car pulls away. Sanger leading them round. Taking safety car speed before he gives it the guns. He can give it the guns now. They've gone past the cone. Final Sanger go. Sanger goes, and he and Capel appear to have a third man with them slightly. No, I think they've actually broken
Nope,
the
they've
so
dropped
it's
him. They've
two
dropped
car
Lar
breakaway
back.
again.
Looks actually like the 20 and 65 worked much better together anyways. And the 20 actually backed off so the 65 could catch up. So obviously they want to work together.
Yeah, probably put some practice time in together. That skin reminds me of Gentles on circuit. So I got it right deliberately.
I don't know.
Is it Gentles on circuit?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa!
Oh!
Well, that was almost a crash there. 65 goes wide in order to let his teammate catch up again.
I think they didn't want Garbaleski in this.
No, I was thinking suspicion they don't need him. He's good. Oh, no.
And then runs into the back of him.
Well, Garbaleski might not be in that battle for long if he keeps doing that.
Oh, here comes last year's champion, Nico Pantola. I'm sure nobody will forget last year's final lap where there was a big crash coming to the line.
That's something completely unusual.
Nico Pantola actually crossed the line with a completely battered car, a la J.R. Hildebrand.
I remember
Until
we
when it comes to
were
win.
taking bets on who was going to win that race, and I picked Nico as a joke, and he ended up actually winning it.
He was lucky.
Yeah, it was a little lucky, yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever won this race without being lucky.
I rolled last year and still finished second, so...
I went a lap down and still came back and finished second, so anything's possible really in this race.
I
Broke
tried
my
for a
wheel.
big, massive something and still finished second in one of the numerous safety cars. So yeah, you could do anything almost in the Kyoto 500.
Actually, didn't you do that twice?
Twice, yeah. I did a curry for tea. Wasn't going down very well. Oh, we have somebody leaving pits, do we?
No, a 5-car battle.
Ooh, someone's on the apron.
Oh, I don't
there
like the
with
look
a
of this one little bit there as they wiggle about under the draft.
Oh no, 6-car group into turn 3. That's even 6. Yes,
Oh,
it is.
Kingsbury moving in and out there.
Oh, he almost got. Well, he did touch Garbaleski actually.
20 and 65 seemingly holding back from this battle now because I think we know what's going to happen here. Just have a feeling.
The teammates
Again.
20 and 65, I think they're backing off on purpose, which in my
Yeah, they
opinion is
definitely
smart.
are because they want to work together and they can see chaos and carnage. We can all see chaos and carnage here. Into turn number 3 with
It's
You'll
just
get
they
sideways.
always keep building up the 3-4 wide formations through the lap, and then coming to turn 3, it's just
It's just too aggressive, way too early.
I never understood why people aren't aggressive early. I mean, just chill out and get into a nice rhythm, and things will happen. You know.
Apparently,
It's
that's
not
just
like-
not fun.
Yeah. No.
driving around 3 laps down dead last isn't fun.
Like Alan Prost would be good at this. Lewis Hamilton would be terrible.
Because he's in a Mercedes, which would eat the tyres up.
I was just being you get frustrated too early.
Whoa, already thought, oh, let's go sideways there, turned out to be a bit of lag. A lot of contact so far. That was real racing, everyone would be wrecking.
20 and 65 are caught back up now. I just
Oh,
not really
Oh,
see it
lag,
smart.
lag from Garbolowski.
this cannot end well the way they're doing it. It's oh my god.
Until we get out of there.
20 and
Oh, get out of
65
there,
are
get
gonna
out.
try.
Oh!
Until the high.
They wanted to shoot through and try to gap everyone there.
Kingsbury, where are you going? Ow! Collision surely this time. No, they managed to keep it going. Garbolowski cutting down on the number 65 there.
Seeing as how many contacts they have, it's gonna be something really small that's gonna just send them all into a massive crash.
Oh my word,
I'm
there's another car
late
joining
move
in
into
now.
turn 3 here. We'll do it.
It's just
Oh,
oh,
double
damn it!
lag.
Lag.
Garbolowski in the
goes
wall.
around. It was lag from Pantola there. Pantola seemed to spear across the track, but in reality he wasn't. And Garbolowski went straight into the wall with a heavy impact.
Wow, and his tires are, well, very much cheated now. His car's pretty bent, so he's probably gonna have to come in for a pit stop. And it's the third caution of the day on lap 31 of the race. Dan Sanger again in the lead. Matt King's even also with a lot of damage to his right side suspension. Moraz, Matt Kingsbury and Garbolowski into the pits, not surprisingly.
Cedric, Grompus and Patrick Hall joining them further back. And for another Americanism, Moroz has won the race off pit road. He is 22nd in the full standings of the race.
Not sure why we're having so many Americanisms, because frankly this oval is meant to be in Japan, so shouldn't we be shouting crash shoe every time there's the big one? safety car in next lap. It's gonna mean that we are gonna have our third restart of the day on lap whatever it is, 36, or end of lap 36, which is actual lap 34.
I feel like this might be a long race.
And what slightly surprised me at the moment is we've had 3 cautions so far, but we still have everyone in the race so far. We've still got 30 cars going round in circles.
Even Jack Sedgwick, who's not ruled yet.
I remember
He's pitting every single caution, so he's just wanting to ride in the back until the end. So expect him to roll around lap 245.
There we go. Sanga's gone. The pal right behind him, so they've broken away again from the guys behind.
Kingsbury and Hall have got themselves caught up in some sort of incident at the back of the pack, coming towards turn 3 before that restart. Not sure what happened there. Once again, it seems Dan Sanger and Martin Kapal are very comfortable working together at this stage of the race. They seem happy in each other's company and leaving the rest to fight amongst themselves, for now at least.
Looks like it, yeah. Again, a few contact messages. Pal are not very happy with the amount of contacts so far. Then who is? Except for the people profiting from them, maybe, perhaps. That's a different story. Now behind the top 2 we have a new kind of three-way drafting group with the Kingsburys, with Matt Kingsbury now gone out of that equation for now.
Looks like Nico Pintola actually doesn't have that long of a 6th gear, so when he's the 3rd car in line, he can't actually pass both cars down the straightaway. Looks like he's better in the middle. Looks like they accidentally dropped the 65 as well.
Just about not.
Yeah, 20 went wide and turn 2 for.
Just about behind them. It's somewhat closer though. A nice car group.
Maybe a 6-car group, but if you notice, they do all the passing on the straight, and once they get in the corner, they just line up. And they might not be the fastest cars on track by doing that, but at least they're not, you know, crashing. Of course, I say that, and they go 3 wide into turn 3, so.
4 wide almost, actually.
If you notice, with the number 52's there, and he actually started last on the grid, and he's currently in 8th position.
Yeah, it's basically qualifying, as long as you're in, means nothing around here. Not even sure if they're trying to achieve some kind of drafting rhythm, or if they're just driving behind each other and trying to get a draft and pass some people.
That's pretty much it. Some people don't think about like actually trying to go fast or anything like that. They just get a draft and like, oh, I have to pass them now.
Well, you might as well at this stage. You can't lose anything anyways, unless you go a lap down.
Yeah, it's just the unnecessary overtakes that can lead to accidents you have to watch out for.
Oh, almost looks like they've now split up with Kareni, Villastallo and Dominik. Now, well, trying to pull away. We have another three-way group with Campaz, Lamoff and Major right behind.
Oh great,
there's
so another
another there,
six-way
split up.
draft. It's 45 laps into the 270 lap Kyoto 500, contact there again. Down the main straight, 45 laps, 46 laps in now. And as yet, it seems as though there's, at the moment, it feels like it's two likely winners. Kapal and Zanger seem to be a little bit ahead of the opposition today, guys. But as we know, that means nothing at the end of the race if there's a late caution.
Which there always is.
Tom, would you like to take us through the procedure for green flag stop, just in case we have any today?
Well, as that to say, you go on an apron, you drive into the pits, you pit, and you drive onto the apron again and out of it.
You can make her lose a lot of time as well. When to brake, when you enter the apron going into turn 3, you want to get as much speed as possible. But obviously, your car is set up for a fast oval, not that's banked, not a flat corner. So it's easy to lose the rear end, and then coming in, trying to slam on the brakes going in, you don't want to lock the fronts or anything like that, because most of the time you actually don't even want to change tires in this race. So you don't want to flat spot them at all. Crash exiting turn 3.
There we go. And it involves a lot of people with red names.
Like Kingsbury amongst them.
Yeah, Ray
number
Kingsbury,
10
same
car.
two as last time I looked at it, Steve. Two of them anyway.
Chris, you were
Very
talking about
similar
how
people.
Alan Prost would be very good at this race. Look at Ray Kingsbury's car. That nose is exactly as bent as Alan Prost.
We know that is very much. Alright, I see what you mean. That's not an Alan Prost car, that's a Olivier Grouillard car. Or an Andrea de Cesar's car.
It wouldn't have started or would be out of the race by now. But yes, caution for of
400. I can't believe Ray Kingsbury's not pitting with that damaged car and those tyres.
Isn't the pit lane closed though?
The entry, the entry is now open. Exit was the one that was open before.
Dancing
Pit
again
in
is
those danger
leading. One thing that's never happened is that this race has never ended under caution.
Well, we can guarantee it's going to end on a caution this year now.
I've ruined it for everyone.
You've already predicted the future, I guess.
I think it's my right, after the last 2 years, which went completely problem-free for me. Except for the bit that they didn't go completely free at all. Completely problem-free even. Not completely free, didn't have to pay anyone actually.
I don't think we'll actually end up seeing green flag pit stops in this race.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think we've
that-
ever seen green flag pit stops in this race.
Well, we've seen penalties being served, but I think that's about it. Oh, and a lot of pit stops. And we've got Moraz and Jack Sedgwick in the same pit stall, however that works.
They've been making love quite a bit on track, so I guess in the pits, it makes sense.
That's quite good, actually.
For anyone who doesn't know, this track only actually has 16 pit stalls, and as we know, we have 30 cars starting, so that can become a problem sometimes. Some people wait. Some people wait. Some people just decide to join you. Pit stop same time as you.
I think there would have been plenty of free pit stalls.
I know Formula One would love to be able to do that. A lot of the Formula One teams.
Then Lewis Hamilton could pit back here with his old boys, like he tried in China this year.
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be lovely? It would get quite confusing if everyone pitted on at different pit stalls with 4 pit stops per race. That would be quite, yeah. I'm glad there are fixed pit stalls on real life racing, I must say.
Yeah, I wish we had the same here.
Giving well, people a chance to cool their tyres down. Most tyres look pretty cool, I have to say. They're very blue on the inside and on the tread mostly. So, not too hard time for tyres at the moment.
Yeah, the tires cool down really fast, and I'm pretty sure most people are running pretty high pressures, so.
But the high wind's helping it too.
Oh, I didn't even know there was wind. Should have joined this race.
I think there's 18 kilometers of wind.
Oh, can I still join this race?
Is it 8? I don't know. It's something with an 8 in it.
Well, I got it in miles per hour. I got 11, so I guess 18
I think
is about
18,
right.
yes.
I believe when I looked earlier, it was going against the turning of turn 3-ish.
Oh.
That general direction.
So pushing everyone wide in turn 3, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, well, that's
nice.
Lovely. For people who love cautions, that's pretty much their dream. Going green this time.
Stu Baker pulling away in his eco turbocharged raceabout. However, he's not racing about much. He's got to go to pit lane now. Dan Sangan's gone, and we're gonna go for our 4th restart of the day.
A lot of bump and run there. One car actually spun out wide.
Behind the lead pair, there's a pack of 8 cars, I believe it is, all together vying for position. Oh, we got spin at the moth.
Oh no!
Oh, in front of them, Cars in the wall.
They managed to keep that one to go, I'll never know. I think it was it Lamoth who had the half spin and just about kept it? Was a red ride on a left car. Having some
cars with right side camber damage, so they've either made contact with somebody else or said hello to the wall.
This is quite a group here.
Oh, here it is. 65 backing out there was probably the smartest move we'll see all day. The car randomly slow on the front straightaway by himself.
Oh, he's got a lot of left rear suspension damage. Must have hit something, some sort.
There's 2 or 3 cars that actually hit the outside wall in turn 3 when there was almost a crash, which they're about to do now. Everyone's just bump drafting because they don't know how to lift.
Do you even lift?
They should.
Whoa! Pirelli almost trying to go between the 9 and 0 there. That could have ended up nasty.
And we got another big pack further back.
Dennis
It's
Lenz
basically
coming in,
the whole
4 wide.
field.
Oh,
Not going to be good.
Better 3 cars in there.
oh, the gap just outside the pack outside the top 10 is just insane. That is worse than Indy Lights.
They're 4 wide through the kink. Just about make it work.
This one actually has pretty large right rear damage.
How they're managing to have they managed to keep that going for like 2 laps now? Is surprising.
Well,
Pack
When
racing
you-
at its
when you-
finest.
when you crash a lot year after year,
big
you learn
contact
how
between
to
the 37 and the
sooner or later
14.
not crash.
Jeez. Talking about the fact we wouldn't see green flag pit stops, only Freeze made one of them. This group just behind Dennis Lenz is pretty insane, I have to say. Wow, massive twitch from Lamov there going through 1.
Yeah, Garbolowski just turned in on him like he wasn't there.
Could have ended up with him going across the track.
Of course, with these
Pete.
guys fighting amongst themselves and not being able to sort themselves out into a proper drafting order, the group in front's just getting miles in front of them.
And everyone behind is slowly approaching, which will obviously make this a lot safer. Dennis is currently trying to just about make sure he's the one who's completely torpedoed once this all ends up in a massive crash.
Which it probably will.
Taking it very conservatively at the moment. As I say that, he dives down to make a 4 wide into 3.
There's only one real reason to want to get through this pack fast. It's just to break away from it and hope that if this goes green for a long time, that you don't end up getting lapped. Because right now they're losing easily a half a second a lap.
And behind we also already have the 37 and 55 approaching to join this battle.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, what a big crash! That is one of the Iron Club cars, I think. Number 10.
Up 10.
Again.
Him and Garbolowski got together.
Whoa,
That
that
looked like-
was a bit of a lag crash. The Nets isn't too keen on things today. 5th caution off this 2013 Kyoto 500 6th annual running. And this time it seems Martin Capel is the one who inherited the lead as the caution came out. That red, black and blue Savage Sim sports car with some white bits on it. And he's pitting as well as Dan Sanger, so that group into the pits. 65 becomes the new leader. Probably gonna be something we're gonna see all the way throughout this race, just drafting partners trying to pit at, if it's possible, at the same time, just because they don't want to lose each other. When I switch through the field, I have to say some very, very different tire wear patterns throughout the field. Some people have a lot more wear than others. On especially the right front tire, obviously, since that is the one that gets the most stress in the draft, especially.
It's kind of strange, actually, how hot their tire's getting.
They're not exactly being kind to them, are they?
No, I mean, a lot of it has to do with your setup as well. But, I don't know. Matters how much camber and everything they have on the tire.
Here we go, restart number 5 coming up. The end of this lap, it's going to be 65 leading it this time round. For the first time in this race. Lap 64 270. There we go, leader's gone.
Actually, car's facing backwards.
7 threes around, yeah.
But they're crashing in turn.
Oh my god!
Oh!
Massive crash in
Jack's,
turn 1. Massive crash.
How did Jack not flip?
That's Sedgwick, Sanger also involved.
Sanger's in it, yeah.
Dustin Dawes.
Speed and Hall seems to be
Jack's
being
car
caught up
is
in that.
absolutely destroyed. That thing's crabbing like nothing else.
Yeah, tough time for Dan Sanger to pit there because he ended up just getting in that accident.
And also,
Martin
he's
Capel doesn't
now
look like he
quite a he's now quite a bit away from Martin Capel now.
And that's a risk you take when you're pitting that sort of circumstance. Out in the lead is the safest place to be when you're with someone who you know and trust. When you put yourself at the back of the pack, then all sorts can happen that you can get caught up with. That's what's happened here.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually that they pit so early. I mean, surely they had 100% fuel at the very start, so you can go. I mean, they could have probably went 120 laps, no problem. I already
Especially
forgot
with
how much fuel
lots
this
of
holds.
cautions like this, you can save quite a bit of fuel and go even further.
When you're out in front like that, you want to pit as late as possible, and then hope you can make it the rest of the way from there.
Jack should be getting a chance to have some of his car turned back to the way, bent back the way it was now. Getting lots of cars in. Sanger in for his second stop. Dennis Linden again. Hall in again. Jarrett Meath also in. Lead at moment number 20, Lauerberg. Previous Kyoto 500 contestant, only a Frack Master entry this year. Dan Sanger in again. Seems to have quite a bit to repair there. Now have at, especially the front of the pack, some quite cold tyres. Which could be causing some sort of entertainment.
Indeed, it can make things tricky. The first couple of laps after restart, they've been crawling around at 80 miles an hour for a number of laps, and suddenly back racing, the tyres are cold, so they don't have as much grip, and they're yet to settle into a rhythm, so it can make things pretty tricky on the restarts. Restarts, we're just about to get our 5th restart, I believe, of this race.
Should be, yes. Quite worrying, we lost count already. Actually, the 6th restart, so, well, 6th restart, there we go. Lauberg has gone. In his draft directly is Huomanen and Pantola. Followed by the 4-car train of Telkula, Kareni, Dominik and Urastala.
Curious to see how the top 3, especially the 20 and the 65, play their strategy, when they'll pit, etc.
Matt Kingsbury squeezing Botev a lot there, almost onto the apron. Wasn't really necessary. Very interesting group around that, just out of 10, well, pretty much midfield group, you could say, positions wise. Well, pretty much bottom of the top 10 to 16th or so. And lower, actually.
Got a crash. They've kept going. I think it was Rennie involved there. One of the pack in around 7th place, I believe it was. One car was in the wall. I couldn't catch which one it was, but they managed to keep going, and we're still on the green.
Oh, 63.
Oh, 09 has lag as well.
That's Dennis Lind.
Oh, 09's possibly crashing.
Oh, we've got a car off. No, we don't. It's lagging out.
Must be 09, not for the first time. I think it's for the third time this season that it happens. And there we go, first retirement of the day. Did I start off with my 3ID Gaming with a classic timeout. And to 29 runners here in the 6th annual running of the Kyoto 500. So Dan Sanger up to 23rd position from... Oh, car upside down! Car upside down, that's car 70 Moroz!
Matt Kings also is almost missing a rear wing. Jack Sedgwick somehow has no damage. When you said car upside down, I instantly went to his car.
As did I must be honest.
As did I.
Ray Kings also
Matt
has...
Kings with blown damper also.
Yeah, Ray Kings also with massive damage.
And with non-existing suspension mountings as he spins it around almost... Did he almost take out his brother there? Who's also got a completely damaged car. But yeah, Moroz upside down on the exit of 3. So...
Since it's such a big incident, I'm going to go and have a little look and see what happened.
Car gonna have a fun time again, just parking in front of her. Our second retirement, quite soon after the first one, I have to point out. Also, second Finnish driver in a row, and well, no. I was gonna say Matt and Ray Kings both pit on the wrong pit exit, but their cars are bulk, so that's fine.
Oh, they ended up not even actually pitting.
And pits are closed anyway.
Oh, pure lag incident there. Well, they came together, Moroz and Kingsbury, but there was just lag. Ow. Huge lag hit. Kingsbury just absolutely like a rocket into the wall. I'm amazed he didn't flip. Finnish internet clearly not being as good today as normal.
Seemingly not, no. That's it for car 70. Moroz spectates after being, well, given the instruction to do so. That's the word I was looking for. Always seems to be the same cars being completely broken here, doesn't it?
Same cars every year.
imagine if this was real life racing. You know exactly which pit crew you would want to be in. We also
If this
have.
was real life racing, I'd hate to be the medical crew.
Well,
Oh no,
yeah.
there's a head rolling in the middle of the road.
Yeah, there's some very violent crashes here that honestly should end people's races, but you know, LFS has as long as you can get back to the pits, you can pretty much repair your car
fine.
completely.
This simulator is very advanced.
I mean, I know Audi can repair their car in 15 minutes at Le Mans.
You remember when
that is
they
impressive.
well they changed
15
the whole
seconds here.
gearbox in like what was it? 20 minutes, 15, 15, 20 minutes the first time they were at Le Mans with the R8, which was so fast that you're no longer allowed to change the entire gearbox.
Yeah, but I mean, that's actually very impressive as well. But when was it when they pretty much destroyed their entire car? And
Last year, that was Diaz who destroyed their car, the number 3, I think it was,
Oh yeah,
the
I remember
non-hybrid one.
that. And they had the entire car ready to go in 15 minutes. Just crazy.
Right, are we ready to go again? Nico Pantola leading them round, the current champion of the Kyoto 500. And he goes...
Not yet.
Not yet.
At least they're pretty late.
He goes... Very late.
There we go.
Oh, collision at the back. They're all caught out by that completely. And Lamont spins out.
There
Oh,
we
they
go.
collided again. What are they doing?
Caution number 7.
8.
8,
What's the
sorry.
next?
The
Dennis
thing is,
has car. Dennis
Nico
has now got a
Pantola.
speedboat for a car instead of an F08.
Nico Pantola actually did nothing wrong there.
No,
And-
they're all stacking up behind him.
And yeah, people they're trying to anticipate the start. They're trying to, you know, just jump it basically, and they're just driving into each other constantly, and you just cause that to happen.
So, if they're gonna try and go this lap, then Dennis Lynn's race is over. Because his car is completely bent.
No, I don't know about you, but that downforce or that aerodynamics on the front end right there.
Yeah, they're amazing.
It looks
I
like
mean-
a mixture between a Delta Wing and a 1980s Brapper.
Think about it. The left side of his rear wing isn't even there, so all he needs is that right
Dennis,
side
you're doing it
downforce
wrong.
of the rear wing.
I think he's
Dennis, you're
allowed
doing
to
it
do
wrong.
that. I think he's allowed to do that because his car's completely bork.
Yeah, he should be allowed to do that. His car is really messed up there. I mean, look at his right side suspension, upper and lower control arms almost completely fried. Whoa.
Green flag.
That's pretty much the end of this Linz race from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Surprised
He's
they went
probably
green
gonna
last
do-
time by.
There
They're probably
it
letting
is.
the cars
Quick
repair the
caution.
damage as they normally do.
If there's somehow a quick caution right here and the leaders slow down massively, then he might be lucky enough
Nico
to stay on the
Pantola
lap.
has had a massive restart.
I think he was the only one ready for it, actually.
All he needs is one of these Ilmor Mercedes 500i engines and he's gonna be fine.
There's another big pack of pals directly in the middle of it.
Oh,
Dan
yes,
Sanger's
very much
catching
so.
up. Nathan Lamar, who spun under the that failed restart attempt, was in it as well. Oh, Dan Sanger, late dive.
Also, they're all concertinaed up into each other as well in the precisely same moment, and I think Sanger and Kapal are gonna try and lose that rest now as good as they can.
I don't think it'll be that easy.
It won't be easy, but they're trying.
Whoa,
They're-
whoa, behind him.
Big wreck, that's Botev. Oh, how did he not flip?
No idea. Looked like he just came right up into Nathan Lamotte there, and then
Lamotte hit him, flipped him, and somehow he flipped him in such a way that the car pointed the right way and just drove on. So that's now caution number 8, officially. Which is a good sign in one way, because it would be quite sad if Le Mans had more cautions than our oval race.
yeah, Dennis Lynn got wrong timing on that caution there, and ends up going over a lap down, or just a lap down actually.
Yeah. Then he's not the only one on that lap. He's also got the 10 and the 55, who are also a lap down. And then the 73 is a further 2 laps down, so... warning to cars 17 and 79, that is Nathan Lamotte and Garbalewski, for attempting to jump the previous restart, which is probably not a very surprising move from the race administration there.
That's a good thing they did that actually. So next time they do it, they can just straight up throw a penalty at him, and you know, got what you deserve there. And if you look, Kapal and Dan Sanger is actually nose to tail. They're right where that crash happened, but obviously weren't in it.
Hasn't that worked out quite brilliantly for them? To go and get back together.
Be curious to see where they are on track once the 65 and the 20 pit, and also the 0 Nico Pintola. 65's actually no longer in the top 3, he's now 4th. So it's going to split them up a little bit.
It's also interesting to note that the 55 car Ulrich, who's a lap down, he's got himself up to 8th in the queue under the safety car. But he's getting himself closer to being able to get himself back onto the lead lap. Edging there bit by bit. We will go back to green flag racing next time by. It will be the 7th lap, start of the 87th lap in game. I think it's 85th lap of the 268 is the 500-mile distance today. Pintola will again lead them round. We'll have to see if he puts the power down a bit earlier than last time.
Yes, that's a big question, whether if he doesn't, it catches everybody out. He passed the green cones now, he may accelerate at any point. He's going to go high by the looks of it this time. Everybody else going low. He's come down the gears, he's gone until destroys them all again. Nico Pintola leads them around. Start lap 87. Contact at the back somewhere as well there. But it appears everybody. No, they're not! Dominik! Oh, almost a 3-car crash there. There's still going to be a crash. There's still going to be a crash. Number 10 has crashed again. All on his own by the looks of it.
We've remained green though because the field
Oh,
is fast.
Dominik again! So Telco and Dominik colliding about 4 times there. I don't know how they didn't spin round in turn 2. Yeah, it's dramatic. Contact racing here. Really, there's no need for this aggression at lap 87, is there, Steve?
No, not at all. We've still got just another 200 laps to go for this race. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say. And if you're not able to have a clean car and being somewhere near the front right at the end of the race, then you're not going to be winning the race. It's as simple as that.
Very simple formula, really. Avoid the chaos, you get a good result. If you don't avoid the chaos and you cause the chaos, then, quite honestly, you don't deserve a good result.
Got a new name up front in this race today. It's Kareni in the 52 car who's taking the lead. Elkova has come with him. He's up in third at the moment, challenging, getting past Pintola into turn 2 now. First time those two have been at the head of the field today, I believe.
Kareni actually started dead last, so it's been a while to get up there, but see how long he stays.
Right now we've got a chain of 7 cars in that lead group who've got to sort themselves out and
Kareni
Find
almost
something
into the
like
side of Pintola.
Braking,
Steve,
someone
sorry.
actually flew out of the
Oh,
track.
yellow.
Yes.
Oh, it's a big one, man. It's on the main straight.
Dustin Dawes actually
Oh,
flew
upside down,
outside of the
Kingsbury.
track.
Kingsbury is upside down out of the Kyoto 200, 250, 500.
500. Dustin Dawes also went outside of the track, so he's out of the race as well.
Yeah, Dawes out. That's a shame for Dustin.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't hit anyone in the crowd. He actually missed the grandstand and just flew over.
Which crowd?
He landed in the GP track, so he's good.
Guess he's just dead then.
Yeah, we'll have a separate medical crew on that one.
A minute of silence for Dustin Dawes. Nah. Anyway, I'll have a quick look again and see what happened there.
we've got the number 37 car with some very heavy left rear damage. His car doesn't really want to go straight at the moment. He's just about managing to get around safely. He's going to be in the pits this time, presumably, or he's going to stay out. That sort of thing I've tried before. It usually work. He's probably going to end up off the lead lap because of the time taken to repair damage. Oh, he's almost hit the rescue car going down by the start-finish line. That would have been not good for him at all.
So just when I don't pay attention for once, there's a big one, and I miss it.
Oh, Dustin Dawes just completely came down in the kink onto Kingsbury and got launched. Okay guys, we're going to have a quick break here during caution and we will be back very, very shortly.